So right now we are going to go with lecture 1 on practice test 1. A couple of things again is very important about the lectures, guys, that we have to know about it. Lectures are going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be about 4 minutes, 5 minutes, sometimes it can be even 6 minutes as well. As I said, if you're a note taker, please take notes. If you're not a note taker, please pay attention to the things. First 2 lines is going to be very important. Last 2 lines are going to be very important. If something in the lecture is mentioned more than once, you definitely have a question about that one. So I'm saying it one more time so that you can take notes while you're watching this video. If something is mentioned more than once, please take notes about that one, or please understand it fully, grasp the idea fully, because you're going to have questions about those ones. If there is a picture illustrated on your screen on the real TOEFL examination, stop taking notes. Look at the picture, because that picture is going to be very important for your understanding. If there is any dates, numbers, please take notes about those ones. Even if you're not a note taker, take notes of those ones, because most probably you're going to have a question about that one. If there is a very hype, let's say, in the emotions, if there is something that the professor says that is, let's say, high on the emotions, let's say, please understand the surrounding sentences of that one very well, because they're going to ask you, what does the professor mean by saying this one? So these are very important ones. The things that are requirements, the things that you need to know before facing with a lecture part. So let's go with the lecture right now. Let's listen to that one, and then we are going to answer the questions.
Welcome to part of a lecture in an art history class.
Last class, I passed out your assignment for your first paper, and today I want to spend some time going over it. Most people never take any art history until they get to college, so many of you have probably never written an art history paper before. I gave you a list of appropriate works of art for you to write about. So your next step in this process needs to be to go look at the work you've selected as your topic, and bring a pencil and a notepad with you, because I don't mean you should just drop by at the museum and glance at it so you can say you've seen it in real life. You need to go and sit in front of the work and really look at it, carefully and slowly, and keep careful notes about what you see. You'll need them for the kind of art history paper you're going to be writing. It's what we call a formal analysis. A formal analysis of a work of art, any kind of art, is based on its formal qualities, which means qualities related to the form. Things like color, texture, line, shapes, proportion, and composition. Now, probably the closest thing to a formal analysis you might have written is for an English class. If you've, say, written an analysis of a poem, you've used the same skills. You've given an analysis of the poem by describing and analyzing its form and meter. A formal analysis paper in art history is very similar. Now, before you begin writing your formal analysis, you'll want to start with a summary of the overall appearance of the work, a brief description of what you see. Are the figures people? What are they doing? Or is it a landscape? Or an abstract representation of something? Tell what the subject is, and what aspects are emphasized in the painting. This will give your reader an overview of what the work looks like before you analyze it. The next part of your paper, the actual formal analysis, will be the longest and most important section of your paper, where you describe and analyze individual design elements. For this portion of the paper, you're going to rely on the notes you took at the museum, because you should be able to describe in detail the design elements the artist uses and how they are used. For example, does the artist use harsh lines or soft lines? Are the colors bright or muted? Focus on the design elements that you feel are most strongly represented in that particular work of art. And if you don't know where to begin, take note of where your eye goes first. Then describe things in the order in which your eye moves around the work. This will help you understand how one part relates to another, the interaction between the different parts of the work. Okay? This kind of analysis should occur throughout the main portion of the paper. In the last section of your paper, and this goes beyond formal analysis, you comment on the significance of what you've seen. What details of the work convey meaning? Some significant details will not be apparent to you right away, but if you look long enough, you realize how important they are for your interpretation of the work. Many years ago, I was writing a formal analysis of a painting of a little boy. In the painting, a little boy was standing in his nursery, and he was holding a toy bird in his hand. And there were more toys around him in the background of the painting. Because of the bird he was holding, I assumed at first that the painting was about the innocence of children. But as I looked at the painting longer, I realized that the boy's eyes looked sad, even though there was no discernible expression on his face. And then it dawned on me that even though he was surrounded by toys, he was all alone in his nursery. The boy's eyes were a significant detail in the painting that I didn't notice at first.
What point does the professor make about the writing of a formal analysis in art history?
Okay, so what point does a professor make about the writing of a formal analysis in art history? This was a little bit a tough part on the lecture, as you have noticed as well. So he was basically teaching the students how they are going to write a formal analysis, let's say a report, and what stages they have to go through over here. So let's take a look at the choices to understand it much better and come up with our answer. What point does the professor make about the writing of a formal analysis in art history? Its objective is to identify common features of several works of art. I don't think so. It's just one piece of art in the formal analysis in the let's say art history, let's say. What is happening is that based on what professor says over here, you go to a museum, you see a piece of art, and then you start analyzing that one. You have an overall report about the appearance of that one, then you go with the longest and the most important part in the and you, let's say, talk about the design elements on that one, and then you comment on the significance of this piece of art. So basically, you are not identifying common features of several works of art. So I'm very uncomfortable with choice A. That's not the thing the formal analysis in the art history does. Its most important part is the explanation of an art's work significance. No, the most important part is basically trying to get detailed description of what you are seeing over there, of having let's say indicating the design elements over there and taking notes of what are the features over there. So not the significance, not the explanation on the significance of that. Several styles of writing a formal analysis are used by art historians. We didn't talk about that one. We didn't talk about the fact that there are several, I have problem with this one, several styles of writing a formal analysis. We just talked about just one of the, ways of writing a formal analysis. We didn't mention even that there are several ways on that one, so I don't like this one too. So hopefully choice D is going to be a good one. A particular approach is required to present information about an artwork, and that's the formal analysis and how you're going to go with that. I've taken notes over here that firstly you take a look at the overall appearance of that one, then you take your notes about the details of that, and at the last point you're going to go on the comments on the significance of this piece of artwork. So basically choice D is going to be the right answer for this one. I like the way that they are trying to hide choice D so that you wouldn't, let's say, recognize that it's going to be the right answer. The formulation of the words is in a way that it says, come on, don't choose me, I'm the bad answer. But as a matter of fact, this is going to be the right answer. It's a particular, they're talking about a particular approach. There is a particular approach that is needed to present information about an artwork and the analysis of that one. So the right choice for question number 6 is going to be choice D. Let's go with question number 7.
According to the professor, what will students need to do before writing the art history paper?
What is the thing that they need to do before writing the art, let's say the art history paper? They have to take notes about a single piece of art that they are seeing. This is the most important thing that he said. He said that I don't want you to just go and see something over there. I want you to take notes about what piece of art you're seeing, what catches your eye over there. So that's my understanding about this question. Let's go to the choices. Look at examples of formal analysis in the textbook. No, he didn't say that one. He didn't say to the students that you need to go to the textbook and start reading about the examples of the formal analysis and then go to the, let's say, a museum or something. No, this is not the case over here. Okay. Take notes on the artwork, they will write about it. Yes, take notes about those ones. Know what you're going to see over there, and while you're over there again, take notes. I like this one. Go to different museums before selecting a topic for the paper. He didn't say go to the different museums. We don't have such a thing, no. Study the historical context of the artwork. They will write about it. He didn't talk about, about reading the historical context of the artwork. He said that just take notes on the artwork. They will write about it. When you are in the museum, just take notes about that one. So the right answer for question number 7 is going to be choice B. Again, this is, as you see, the lecture part is a little bit of a tough part. The topic was, as a matter of fact, a little bit tough as well. So let's go to question number 8.
Why does the professor mention an English class?
So why does the professor over here talks about the English class or the paper that you're writing for an English class? So he is basically giving an analogy, a similarity between the paper that they are going to write for the formal analysis and the way that they are, let's say, analyzing a poet or let's say a poem. So he's basically showing that when you're having an analysis for a poetry, for literature part in your English class, you're going through some stages, and we are going to go through similar stages when we are having a formal analysis about a piece of art as well. So let's take a look at the choices right now. To explain the difference between visual language and written language, did he try to say that, yeah, it's different? These two are very different from each other, and visual language and the written language are going to be very different. These are the differences that we are going to have? No, it's not. To explain the students, that the students need good writing skills for this. Come on, no. Good writing skills? No. To point out similarities between a poetry paper and the student's assignment. Exactly, yeah, that's the thing. To point out that many art historians become writers. What? Not exactly, no, this is not the case. Yeah, he's trying to show the similarities between an analysis that you're going to write for a poetry paper and the assignment that the students are going to have. What is the assignment of the student? They're going to write a formal analysis paper for their, let's say, art history class. So choice C is going to be the right answer for question number 8. Let's go with question number 9.
What does the professor recommend as a way to understand the relationship between different parts of an artwork?
Yes, what does the professor recommend as a way to understand the relationship between different parts of the artwork? So this is a very subtle, unclear part that the professor talked about it in one part. He said that you need to connect the different parts of an artwork, and one of the easy ways of that one is to see that is just to look at that for a longer time and see that what first catches your eye. What is the first thing that you are looking at? What is the second thing that you're going to look at? What is the third thing that you're going to look at that? So these stages of looking at a piece of art is going to make you understand the relationship between different parts of, let's say, an artwork. He actually gave an example about that one that we are going to discuss about it later on as well. So let's go to the choices. Looking for lines that connect different parts of the work. Just the lines? Is that just the lines? So no. Examining the artwork for several different angles. Go to this angle, look at it from here. Then go to that angle, look at it from there. No. Just follow your eyes. What you see first, what you see second. Looking for similar colors that artists use throughout the work. Did he say about the colors? No, it's not the case. Determining how the viewer's eye move around the work. What is the first thing that you're going to see? What is the second thing that you're going to see over there? And all of these ones are going to guide you basically throughout this artwork as well. So the right answer for question number 9 is going to be choice D. Let's go with question number 10.
Why does the professor talk about his own experience analyzing the painting of a little boy?
Yeah, why does the professor talk about the little boy? What happened was that he was explaining, I think, about his having a comment on significance of a piece of art. And he said that this was a painting of a very young boy in a nursery, and he had a bird in his hand, but there were a lot of toys around him. At first, he said that what caught my attention was the fact that, well, it is giving a message about the innocence, not being guilty of children. But then he said that when I took a deeper look at the painting, I figured out the eyes of the boy is very sad, and I recognize that he has all of the toys around him, but he is all alone in the nursery, and that was the message that this painting was trying to give me. So let's go to the choices on this one. To point out a common misconception about formal analysis. Wait, this is the formulation of this choice is a little bit hard. To point out a common is there a misconception over here? He says that just be very careful about it. When you comment on significance of something, you need to take a look at it for a very long time. Try to understand it. I don't think it's about the misconception or a common misconception, because we don't have a common misconception over here. To stress the importance of looking at an artwork thoroughly. Thoroughly means completely. I like it. Yeah, this is kind of true. To show why a formal analysis should not emphasize small details. As a matter of fact, it should emphasize small details. Small details are very important. The eyes of the boy, which were conveying, giving us the, let's say, message of him being sad and all alone in the nursery, was a very small detail. So this is completely wrong on this part. To provide an example of an artwork that is easy to analyze. It was not easy to analyze. And it's not giving an example about a piece of art that is easy to analyze. It is giving an example about a piece of art that he is giving a comment on the significance of that. So not this one. I think the choice B is the best answer. To stress the importance of looking at an artwork thoroughly. Thoroughly means completely. Okay, so let's go with question number 11.
The professor describes 3 sections the art history paper should contain. Place them in the order in which they should appear in the paper.
Yes, exactly. So over here, so we have 3 choices over here that we need to order them. Which one is going to be the first one, which one is going to be the second one, and which one is going to be the last one over here, according to the professor. So professor told us that for writing a formal analysis, first of all, we need to take a look at the overall appearance of that one. So let's take a look at it. Analysis of the design elements in the art uses. The analysis is going to be the second one. We know that. Discussion of the meaning of the art. It's going to be the third one. Summary of the appearance of the artwork. That's the first thing. That's my note over here. Overall appearance. So overall appearance goes very close with this one. So it's going to be the first one. Secondly, what you are doing which is the longest and the most important one. It's the indication of the design elements. You take notes over here. You have a detailed description of that. For example, the harsh lines we have over there, or we have the smooth lines over there. You take notes on this part. Discussion, analysis of design elements and the elements the artist uses. So the first one is going to be the appearance. The second one is going to be analyzing the design elements over there. And the last one is discussion of the meaning of the artwork, or the comment on the significance of that one. So the right way to order this one is going to be like this. Thank you very much. That's the end for the lecture 1 in this part.